Hello, 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 everyone. How is it going? Guys, you see this title up here. It is such a gorgeous cover. We love
Thank
it. The
you.
story is great. So, all of that. So, if you are in the room, we are going to introduce Ty. Ty, we want to thank you so much for taking time. And I know you have been running around. I've been trying to hit some of your stops and everything. So we appreciate you just stopping by with us. But make sure everybody in the listening audience, once you come in, make sure you're tagging somebody, making sure you are subscribing so that you don't miss any other interviews. So do all of that good stuff. But here with me today, I have the creative and wonderfully talented Ty Love. So we welcome you. Today is an absolute pleasure to be sitting down with you, and I absolutely wholeheartedly thank you for taking the time. I know you are very busy, and I have caught you 2 weekends in a row while you've been on the road, and you have graciously said yes to me. So that does not go without notice, and I appreciate you so much. But you're such a great storyteller, Ty, and I know I don't want to I don't want to give too much away, but I want to give you the opportunity to say who you are besides Ty, the author. So if you want to kind of dive into like, what is it that we who is Ty other than the author is what I want to say.
Oh, she let me go there. Who's Ty? Who's
Well,
Ty other than the author?
only because
Hmm.
this story is going to require me to might maybe hit on that. So just tell me what you're comfortable with
Yes.
saying.
Oh no, I am comfortable. Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
fine. What I but some of you know, some of you may not know, but I am a psychologist outside of this world. I This is the thing. I have no problem saying I'm a psychologist or a therapist, but for sometimes some people are like, "Ew," they're like, then they start to say, "Will my books be like fictional education or historical?" I don't know what people
Yeah.
think, but um, it is. I became inspired to write because I wanted to do more than just help the person that's sitting across from me, on my sofa, on my chair. It's like, what is a way to help someone by in a fun way, which is through
Mhm.
love, through romance. And usually there's a message in most of my stories. I might have a story or two that there's no, I'm just writing, but for the most part, there is something that you'll get out of each of my stories, and hopefully you'll heal in some form or fashion, or at least recognize I might be going through that.
Mhm.
So yes, that's who I am. Outside of that is definitely I'm more introvert, but love to have fun, love to dance, love to
Mhm.
spend time with family and friends, love to travel, and of
Mhm.
course love to read, love to write.
Yeah, yeah. So I put you through all of that just to say that this story actually was more than a romance. It was actually it was a book that was kind of inspiring a little bit
Oh,
because
good. That's
in a
good.
lot of different ways, I tell
Hmm.
you. So, and I feel like readers could definitely um, feel what you were trying to say. So let's just take Kanan, for instance. And
Yes.
normally your your male characters usually carry a lot of weight.
Yes,
And
they
then you bring them from sort of like from ashes to mold kind of thing, you know.
do.
And
Yes.
Kanan really wasn't any different, but he wasn't. He was one of those. I don't know how do I say he was flawed definitely, but he had a lot of baggage that he was carrying. Some of it was a little bit unnecessary. A lot of it was brought on by itself. You know, if you guys haven't read the book, Kanan Jackson is a NASCAR driver. But besides
Yes.
being a NASCAR driver, he is he has a like $1 billion legacy that he is basically kind of turning his back again because he has his own dreams. And I love that about him, that he actually is following his own dreams. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? But and he's hugely intelligent, right? So he's got all the good factors, but then he's got some of that salt in the room kind of thing. So
Yes.
where
Yeah.
did Kanan come from in your mind?
Ooh, where did it's just make me think today. No, it's all good. I've been very blessed to have very good interviewers over
Mhm,
over the course of this book. Where Kanan come from? I wanted to show, well, one, Kanan's character, he talks about he has ADHD as a child. He's a handful. Like there, we know there's some kids, some boys who are a handful, especially for a single mom trying to raise a boy. And he pretty much, I guess his mother felt like she couldn't handle him, so she left him to be raised by his grandparents, who she felt like could handle him better on in Barbados on the island.
mhm.
And there, he was on medications, everything else in the States, but there, his grandmother, who was a school teacher, just said, we're gonna work it. Oh,
Right,
we're just
right.
gonna get this energy out of you, as much as we can. We're not gonna medicate you. She taught him how to channel his energy, his hyperactivity, if you will. And so I wanted to show that there are ways you can channel when you have different, quote unquote mental health diagnoses, and you don't always have to take medicine. You can channel it. And in his case, he loved to race. So he channeled it into racing. He channeled that energy into racing, but also recognized he still would have moments where it would affect him. And so he learned how to meditate.
Mhm,
So I wanted to have a character that was kind of complex in the sense of, he was able to, because he's a billionaire, but he's a billionaire because of his brain, because he was able to patent a pipe, some
mhm,
oil, because dad uh, his dad owns an oil pipe fitting company.
mhm,
It's in Houston, Texas. There's a lot of people, a lot of black people with money who work somewhere in and around the oil industry. And
mhm,
so I wanted to be as realistic as possible. People might be, there's no such thing as a billionaire, no such thing as a millionaire. But I'll tell you one thing. I met this guy who's an engineer, who just in passing, we just having a conversation. He was like, my wife was mad with me because I just blew 20 million because I invested in something. He said it so matter of factly, like it wasn't even devastating to him that he blew 20 million. And I'm just like, what just happened here? And then I realized he owned the engineering firm and he
mhm.
worked, this is what he does. Like he's in an oil field doing things. So all of that became canon. Jackson.
Yeah, yeah, and but the
Jackson.
thing is that some people might feel that way because maybe they're not around that. But I feel
Yep.
like I love that you brought that out because that is can be very realistic for some
Yes.
people,
For some people. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that just that he had this very complex mind.
Yep.
But oh my Lord, he was one stubborn person. He was one stubborn person, but then he was also so very lovable
Yes.
and so very
Yes.
caring, right?
Yep.
Uh, and then we have Miss wait,
Kinsey.
is it Kinsey?
Kinsey.
Kinsey,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So Kinsey, comes into this relationship with her own set of issues, right? Maybe
Yep.
not so huge as Kanan,
Yes.
but she had, I almost said this, and so I might be wrong, but I'm just gonna say it because this is what I thought when I was reading. What is it called? Oh my goodness, it just escaped my mind. But it's like when you are living a life that you feel like
Imposter syndrome.
imposter syndrome.
Yep.
Yes, I
Yep.
felt
That's
like
her.
that was
Yeah,
what
that's
she
her.
was dealing with,
It
right?
was. It definitely
And
was. Yeah.
I deal a little bit with that myself. So that's why I
I,
was
I
able
know I
to.
do. I know I have it at times. Trust me. I'm like, really? Did this really happen? Like to me? What did I,
Right?
Yes, 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 yes.
But anyway, and she had this, she was an influencer, and I love her because in our world of in our book world, there's a lot about content creators and influencers and stuff like that.
Yep.
And so you kind of when somebody writes a book about that, I kind of am drawn to that just to kind of see what their life is like.
Yeah.
And I love her because she was unapologetically her.
She was.
But when the doors closed,
Mm-hmm.
she had some, little stuff she had to work through, and this is how they get together. And I don't, guys, I'm trying to be good. I just want y'all to know. And this book has been out for a little bit, but I'm going to
Yes.
try to be good. But the two of them together had such strong personalities, and I don't think you've done this before, but it's almost like these characters was protecting their brand, if you will,
Yeah.
but they had to do certain things in order for it roommates, you know, in order, well, what they thought was the best way to make sure that they both shine, right?
Yep.
Because they were both heading some mess, you know, because they were both characters that were in the spotlight. And you know, there's no secrets when you are in the spotlight. So they were
None.
basically using each other to, um, you know, to cover, I guess, if you will. Um, so what was the draw to you to have these two characters? And I think in some places it's called enemies to lovers, but I don't know if
Yeah.
they're really enemies to lovers, really.
Yeah, I mean, I did write them as enemies to lovers in the sense that, of course, as soon as you open the first chapter, they already love us. So it's like,
Right.
I don't think I'm giving anything away. If you go to Amazon right now and just click for the preview, you'll see. So, um, but in terms of them having a distrust and a natural dislike of each other, at least initially,
Hmm.
um, because of the past, because they met in college. They met back at Prairie View when he was the boyfriend of her best
Okay.
friend slash roommate. And so because of how he treated her best friend back in college, she already, was giving him the side eye anyway back from back then, and even more so now because he's even more popular. He's even, more good looking. Everything is more than what it was when he was in
Hmm.
college. So it was one of those sense of I don't know if I can trust this person. So that's for
Yeah.
me, enemies to lovers is more like there is some animosity, even though there's
Hmm.
attraction. So I
Hmm.
still see it that way, even though, like I say, even though when it starts off, you already know.
Right, right, right,
You already know they at least have some chemistry and like each other enough to do that.
right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you are right about that. And I think too, the realistic things that you did about that, even with her, you know, getting with the friend. I mean, realistically, if it really was your friend, you would kind of say, hey, you know, this is going on, and you put that in there, and I appreciated that because that really did make the story kind of, you know, like the whole story to me was just realistically, you know, and it was
Thank
very
you.
good. I fell in love with those characters
Oh,
like right
good.
away. And the book was
Good.
like, you couldn't put it down. Um, but now, when what are some of the feedback that you've been getting from this book, and has it been on point of what you wanted, the readers to get from the book?
Yes. One of the best things about writing is when whatever you intended readers to receive, they receive it. That's
Mhm.
like that's when I'm like, yes, I did it because that is what people are receiving. And that is what I've been getting thus far about it. One is that people said they couldn't put it down. And I did write this one like I did. I used to write for Wattpad. That's how I got started. And if you know anything about Wattpad,
Oh yeah.
that's it's like you have to because it's serial. It's like a soap opera. You have to end each chapter in a way that people are like, oh, I want to come back. Because when you
Hmm.
write a novel, you don't necessarily have to write it that way because if it's a novel, people know it's going to take a while. I'm gonna get into it, whatever. But for Wattpad, because people only pay one chapter at a time, or you want them to be like, oh, I want to pay for this next chapter. Whereas you buy a book, you got it already, so you can, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
read it, not read it, whatever. So I wrote this story with that in mind. I actually started this story back in 2022. I didn't realize I'd started that long ago and just kept, coming back to it, stayed in the back of my mind. And I submitted it to Harlequin and they were like, hey, we like the story. If you can add this, this, and that to it, but it's good as it is. So if you don't want to add those, you can, I understand. And I said, you know what, I want to keep it as is. So I took it back and decided to try with another publisher, and got it with Black Odyssey. And just as the story it is or it was. So like I said, this is a story that's been around for a minute. This is more of what I call a pure romance for me because if you read my stories, sometimes my stories may be like a lot of people say they could be gut wrenching depending on the story that you read.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you feel all the feels, all of that. But this one, I wanted to have more of, like I said, it's a summer romance. I look at it like it's not. There's always some deepness to it, but it's a little lighter than what people might be used to reading from
Hmm.
me. And so the stuff that the people are, I mean, I went all off a tangent, but what people are telling
Come
me
on.
about this story is, similar to what you said in terms of I couldn't, I had to finish reading it, or I was on the edge of my seat reading it. And, and the thing is, of course I wrote the books. I'm not even thinking like people want to know how did the video get leaked. And I'm sitting here like, oh, I didn't even think of it because one person felt like a mystery to her. And I'm like, really? Then I said, oh, I forgot. There is, there is
Right,
this
right. It was, yeah, it was
who,
that.
who leaked the video, so it's very, I am getting the feedback about it. People are loving these characters. I've had some people say, Kinsey got on their nerve because she's always pulling out her camera or her phone. And I'm like, well, that's what content creators do. They always,
Right,
every
exactly.
moment is like, it could be a moment that could, you know, they want to share because that is what you do. You never know what moment is a moment to be shared. And so for someone like me who isn't a person who brings, I was more Canaan. I'm like, oh, here we go. Why is the phone back out? So in a lot of ways, I was being Canaan and being devil's advocate, like his. But that is what a content creator would do. That
Mm-hmm.
is, and then the whole relationship was fake. So far as Kenzie was concerned, she's like, hey, capture another moment. We got to post.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it started getting real, that's when the distrust started happening again. Like, wait,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
And some funny moments too with Kinsey because when she was doing her lives and she was talking about, relationship, because she was like more or less like a relationship I don't know, kind of therapist online, like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? So but when people were coming up in her in her chat, and saying
Mhm.
some foul stuff like that, and I mean, there was one that was really went left, right? But she was just letting them have it, and then conversations in her head, like, online and then offline, was just truly comical for me. You know what I mean? I loved how, that's why I said she was truly unapologetically her, and she was a very real person too. So where did you get Kinsey from? I guess you told us where Kanan kind of came from. So you know,
Kenzie is
yeah. What's her
is
ingredients?
Kenzie is a lot like me. I'll say that. I will
Okay.
say, I mean, this is where sometimes I do feel like a imposter syndrome. I write about romance and love, but I'm not married. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like in the sense of, am I being an imposter here? So when I wrote her, is like, you write all these stories about love and romance, but that's not something you really are actively doing or whatever. So a
Mm-hmm.
part of Kenzie is me. I can be, sometimes like, oh, I want this relationship. Other times I'm like, I don't be bothered. So I am. And then, of course, working on, especially at that time when I was working on my PhD, I definitely was like, I'm focused, I'm trying to do this. It is what it is. But of course, people who knew me knew I did relationship therapy. I did all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, but you're not even in your own life trying to do this. What's up? And
Which
so,
that did come out for her.
yes, it did. It did. It did. And so that's what I wanted to um, portray too. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to want it all, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to, you just got to find that right balance, because that is one of the issues that they both had, is that with them both being ambitious. And that's some of the things I had trouble with too, because men I have dated are ambitious like I am. And so that would be like, who's more important right now? Whose career is more
Yeah.
important? What's
Yeah.
happening is more important? Should I put my stuff to the side to follow him, and vice versa? And so
Mm-hmm.
all of that I do delve into in this book. So I said, definitely Kinsey is, it's, of all my characters, probably the most like me, in that sense of, I'm introverted, but I will become ambivert or extroverted depending on the situations. But what I prefer is to be sitting somewhere, writing or reading, curled up in a corner. It's like I'm good,
Mm-hmm.
which
But
is
yeah, she
Kinsey.
was a little bit more outgoing than what you just mentioned now.
Yeah.
But there was a situation where she did have to deal with, or they both had to deal with, where um, you know, both of their careers was reaching a plateau,
Mm-hmm.
and neither one of them wanted to budge. I think it was more so him didn't want to budge because he
Yeah.
just wanted what he wanted.
Yep.
and she thought about it, but and even when I was reading that little piece right there, I was just like, don't do it because you'll never get this moment back,
You
right?
won't get the moment back. No.
And then and I was, and this is me talking to them, and I was like saying, and you don't want her to, because she might resent you, in the long run. So he quickly, switched gears, and I was like, I was happy for it, but I think it cost him a little bit too. But
It,
I mean, yeah,
it
in the
did.
long run, I
It was
think,
worth it. It was worth
yeah,
it.
it was worth it. But I thought, oh my Lord, am I going to have to fall out of love with you now with this? Because he was really, no, 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 you can't go. And I'm like, wait, 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 yes, she should go.
Yes, yeah, and it's
Like,
funny because when I originally, we have to, for those who haven't read it, I had a different outcome at first. So
mm,
something in me was like, let's make it a little different, just because what I, definitely what I definitely want to show, especially women, because I do think often women subdue themselves or give up what they
mhm,
want to be in a relationship a lot. They
yeah,
might be, this is what I want to do, and then you see them get married, so they're not doing all the stuff they said they wanted to do. And men hardly ever change. Whatever they said they were going to do, they still continue to do so.
right, right,
And I'm like, why can't women do the same thing? Why can't? And it's like, hey, these are my goals. Just because I'm married should not change, or I'm in a relationship shouldn't change what I want to do. And so, again, because Kenzie's very headstrong, and because she's starting to be more vulnerable with him, she does second guess herself, whereas in the past she wouldn't. In the past, she would have been like, "Oh, this is it, I'm going." But she really sat and thought about it, like, "How is this going to impact us?" And I
yeah,
wanted him to have the same come to Jesus meeting too, and not just be like, "She better, better do what I want her to do."
mhm,
That's his typical stance. He's used to women doing whatever he wants them to do, and
yeah.
Kenzie's not that person.
Well, and those relationships didn't last either, and I felt like he wanted, because he kind of had some, like a little mild like case of separation
Yep, he
anxiety
did. He
too,
did.
right?
He did.
So
He did.
so
He
I'm
did.
like, dude, look, those
He has
people
his
did.
reasons why, though. He had his
Yeah, yeah,
reasons why.
yeah.
Hmm.
Truly, truly. That's why I said that realistically, other than everything that was happening with them, I know people who have had it, or somebody said, that they've experienced it themselves. So it was good. But then you often write these characters. I don't know, these two just seemed a little bit different from what you've done
Yeah,
before, right? But you always have the characters that like are flawed, and that we love, obviously we love those. But now, another thing that I loved about the book is that these characters, they, like I said, they both had their own stuff, and
yeah,
it wasn't like they had to work at them alone. They both grew. You could see the growth in those characters, but they did it, parallel to each other, which made it so much better. And it made me fall more in love with their relationship. And I think it kind of made them fall in love a little bit more too,
it
right?
did. It did. It did.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like the forced proximity part. They being to
Yeah.
because if they were still living their separate lives, nothing would have changed. Because they got to see each other every day, and how they moved, and how she could see different parts of him she never paid attention to, and him vice versa, because they were in the same space for 3 months. So I do think, I just think about how you spend, like I've had weekend trips with people, and inevitably all of a sudden somebody breaking down and confessing something. I don't know, but it's like you spend unlimited time with a person. It it does let those layers go down. It
Hmm.
helps those layers go down. So being 3 months with this man, spending every single night with him,
Hmm.
either they were going to really continue to hate each other, or they were going to fall in love. Either way, and because they allowed their guards to go down, the love starts to grow.
Hmm. Well, and I know with this book, and I've seen quite a few authors doing this, where you guys have had these tours with these books. And so, how has your tour been going? I mean, you've been really like zip zapping,
I have.
across the
I mean, I
globe.
don't know what. Look, this. I decided to do this, and I'm like, why did I do this? Because, and I'll say this because I'm. It's been good. Let me first say that I've been blessed to for each city that I've been thus far, and I've actually done a couple of books talks with other authors. So
Hmm.
it's not even just mine. Like I did with Elle Wright. I went to Tampa, met her, and did a book talk with her. I've done it with Aries Sky in Houston. So it's not just my books too. I'm other authors. We are
Yeah.
collaborating, going different places, doing different things, and this is the first time I've done this because I said, oh, this, I really want to, people to fall in love with Madly Driven. I knew it was going to be at both indie bookstores and um, the Barnes and Nobles and the Books a Million all over. So I wanted to do that. And for someone like myself, who's I love travel, I don't think I love it quite the way I thought I did because I'm literally like going from like I think I flew in two cities in 1 week. And I was just like, I don't do that. Like I'm literally with my bags, didn't even unpack and just like next. And it's gonna happen again like this here because I'm in Miami right now. I got a talk at Steamy Lit with Monica Walters. Looking forward to that tomorrow
So,
night. And then next week I'll be in New Orleans for One Love. So when I fly back home to Houston, I'm gonna drive to New Orleans. So so
wow.
it's a whirlwind, and then I'm doing a couple of more events in Houston and then Virginia in October with Danielle Allen. So
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
yes, it's been all I can say it's been an adventure in terms of seeing these different people, but I love the fact that I get to meet new readers.
Hmm.
Some coming out for the first time. I even when I was in Atlanta, this woman came up, this white woman came up to me, and I was like, okay, audience. Not that I can't have white readers, but it was just she was just And afterwards, she told me she had come to the bookstore, and this is Eagle Eye, and she come was looking for a book because her son was really sick in the hospital,
Hmm.
and she wanted a break, and she loves to read. And Eagle Eye said, why don't you read this book? You like race cars? And she's like, yeah. So they gave her my book. Well, no, my book wasn't out yet. They said it's going to be out June 30th, and she's going to be here to speak July 1st, which is the very next day. She came back
Wow.
and she bought the book on June 30th, read
Hmm.
it, and came back July 1st for me to sign it. And she said that her son had gotten the surgery he needed. It worked. It was a successful surgery. He's recovering, and it made her want to read, and it made her want to come and see who wrote this book.
Very nice.
And it was just a nice moment that had I not been touring, I never would have, I'm sure
Yeah.
Ego, I might have told her about the book, but if I wasn't there, I never would have got to hear her story of how, just reading, she wanted to read and she wanted to meet me after she read it because she enjoyed it. And it just made it just like, oh, wow. And so you just never know what happens
Yeah.
at these different, events that I have been going to and meeting readers. Some just because I'm there was like, hey, I'll try your book. And then some are people who are fans, like I saw you in Chicago and then expect to see you. So when you walked up, I was like, hey, you know, you come. He said, I thought I told you. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So it's been good. That part of just being able to interact and meet readers, and all the authors have been fabulous, and just them agreeing to do it with me because you never know. People busy, and I'm like, hey, would you come and do this with me? Everyone I asked said yes, and I was just like, it's been touching. The
Yeah.
overwhelming part for me is the travel. But other than that,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
everything
yeah.
else
No,
is good.
I get it. But
Yeah,
that's one of the things too that I was thinking about is that, not only with your book, but some of the other authors who have been kind of coming around to Chicago and we've been coming to see. I am loving the fact that your sister readers are showing up and they're doing something a little bit different, and I love seeing other authors in conversation with other authors because being an interviewer is great, but seeing two, you know, power heads come together and talk about a book, that is one amazing thing.
it is. It is.
So it's new to me, in conversation with, I think it's kind of new period,
It
right?
is. It's one of
Yeah.
those. It's become because at first, it was like last year. I did a couple of book talks in Houston, and no one was, no one was really. I mean, I think they've been doing it maybe for the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, but
Okay.
it's relatively recent for sure.
Hmm.
And one of the bookstores, and actually was Eagle Eye, I believe, that were like, we recommend you, see if you can do it with another author. And when they recommended that, this is before I even started touring, then I started saying, what if I did that with every city? that I so every city I sought someone that I thought, like in Chicago, I knew Sherelle Green was there. So I was, let me
Mm-hmm.
see if she's willing. In Atlanta was Tati Richardson and
And
Casey
Casey Neal.
Mills.
Yeah.
But and Monica lives in, she lives in Beaumont, right outside of Beaumont. And we
Mm-hmm.
were at a talk, we were at an event in Houston. And I just said, I know it's Miami. I can't pay you to go. Would you come? And because everybody else was living in the city, so it's had to leave their home to come. But she literally had to fly it to be here, and she was like, "I like, ma'am, I'll do it." And so I had to give her, um,
See, I
you know,
love that. I love
yeah,
yeah.
and so we're gonna be doing it tomorrow night, and I'm excited. And this is something that I started planning back in January, so it's been it's been real good. And then even with Danielle, she was the one that said you should go do the Virginia. I said, Virginia, I don't really. She was like, I'm in Virginia. I'll do it with you. I was like, oh, okay. In that case,
Okay,
Virginia,
okay,
we are. So,
okay.
we're gonna be there. But I will say that for those who don't know, the author world, we really are supportive of each other. I know you may or may not feel that way at times. And I'm, even myself asking everyone to do this was a surprise. I was even very just touched. Everybody agreed and was like, sure, why not? It'll be fun. And I have been having fun. So,
Yeah,
yes,
I'm loving the tours too because I know that tours are not new,
no,
but they seem to be a lot more prevalent right now.
yep,
And so that is pretty cool because, a lot of times we would have to travel as a reader, we would have to travel to that. So it's been wonderful to be able to hit a bookstore, in your city,
yeah,
not only visit the bookstore, but then have your favorite author or authors there in conversation with, like it's just been a wonderful thing. I love it. Like I'm in the Midwest. I'm in the Chicagoland area, so I will travel as far as Michigan this way,
hmm,
and as far as Wisconsin. And you know what? I think I might even try Minnesota.
oh yeah,
As far as
yeah.
Minnesota.
One of my good friends live in Minnesota. She probably would
Yeah.
now be like, you need to do one up here since you're talking about it. Cause
Well,
yeah,
you know what? Let me know because I think I will
yeah,
make that drive because it's not that far. So
hmm,
I think it's a nice switch for readers in a sense and bookstores too because some of these bookstores are just starting out
yep,
and or they've been in business but not haven't been put on the map or like so with you guys coming in there like it's a way for somebody it's a win-win because the bookstore that you were at in Chicago, I had heard about it, but I had not gotten a chance to go there.
yep,
So, hey, I'm coming to see you. I get to visit a bookstore, and now I can tell somebody else about that bookstore. But yeah, so I'm loving the book tours and the in conversations with the authors too. But I want to kind of ask you a little bit about your journey. So from what you started with, I think you started your journey. You've been writing for since like around 2018, 19 or something like that, I think.
I, as far as published, yes, since it'll be 8 years in March.
Wow.
So it's been seven some years. But on Wattpad, I started 2016. So it's been 10 years
Oh,
since,
okay,
and I
okay.
and I wrote on that for fun. That was just like a hobby. I didn't know it was gonna grow to this. Something I
Yeah,
did for fun. So yeah,
yeah. And you're like, I think you like over 40 books right now. You met
over
50?
50. Yeah, I have over
Okay,
50
so
now.
50.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's over
so
50.
yeah.
Yeah, it's about
50
55. I
books.
think about 55, something like that. I got to go back and
Wow.
count, but yeah.
In 7 years.
That's crazy when I think about it, because now I feel like I'm so slow. I can't even. I was just telling my friend I haven't like they're like what's after Madly Driven. I'm like, yeah, I got like a lot of half books written.
Because I'm gonna ask that question too. So get your answer together.
Yeah, I'm getting it together. I'm getting it together. But yes, it's been. This is the first time. Like usually, I write like 4 or 5 books a year. Sometimes more. It's just like the end. But the touring is the first time I toured too, so that has taken a lot
Yeah.
because I still work. So I still work full time. So that has, and I know that's cut into my writing time when I'm
Hmm.
traveling. Meeting people, talking, laughing, eating, enjoying the good food everywhere I go. So
Well, hey.
yeah, it has been. So I know because of that. Then of course I was at BRBF. So different, even just going to other
Yeah.
book events, going to One Love next week. So yeah,
And you're hitting all the
it's
good spots though too.
I
So
know these some good cities like
yeah.
Chicago.
Some good
New
events too.
Orleans, Miami, Houston. I mean, it's just it's been good. It's been good.
Now, what would you say? How do you feel you've grown from, say, that first published book to now this book here?
Ooh, it was ironic. My very first book was a sports romance,
Mm-hmm.
Endgame, and this one is also a sports romance, but it's a different type of sports romance.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'm always trying to be better writer. That's a fact, and always trying to say, what's different. How can I layer this character a little bit more? So I would say my characters over time might be more layered, but then it depends because in some of my books, earlier books, were a little bit more messier than they are now. So a little bit more messier. There's still some element of mess and madly driven,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
um, still, with that said, I would definitely say I I think I'm more, might be a little bit more intentional than I used to be when I
Okay.
write, because but I never want to be just completely like. Sometimes I just like just the flow, and
Hmm.
sometimes I start adding intention to it. It breaks my flow. So I'm trying
Okay.
my
Okay.
best to find that right balance where I'm being more intentional, but it also flows.
Okay.
So I will say that, but I can definitely see my growth. I know people still call me Ty Love, but I'm usually just Ty now because
Mhm.
that is showing my growth. Because I definitely plan to go into more women's fiction where the story may or may not end in happily ever after,
Mhm.
which is why I don't always use love. I mean, I don't care if people call me Ty Love. That's how people met me. That's fine. But I don't want people always to think that every one of my books is going to end happily ever after.
Mhm. Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
just
didn't hear
want to
about
take a
that.
message. I just want to take a moment out to
Okay.
actually say some shout outs to, and one of them is Miss Pam Kelly. She is also a very creative and talented writer too. And
Yes.
Pam, thank you for showing up and hanging out with us. I am, I'm still waiting on something. So thank you for always hanging out with us. And I might be reaching out to
Yeah.
you very soon. I
I,
wanted to say hello to Katina uh, and Loretta.
yes.
And I think Mama Tony was on earlier. I'm not sure if
Oh,
she's
yeah.
still on. And Beloved Reviews, thank you so much for hanging out and thank you for coming. We had King Brooks out here. Hey,
Yes.
King. Jackie Clark, hey sis, how's it going? How's it going? And we had earlier Vandetta. Vandetta, it's been way, way, way too long, love. And I'm sending hugs out to you. And Miss Ruby was on there.
She's
Thank you
part
for
of my street team. So Ruby,
yeah.
she keeps my page going. So
Okay, well,
hey
yeah.
Ruby, hey
Well,
Ruby.
you are appreciated, Miss Ruby.
Yes,
And
always.
then Mama Tony. So all of you all, thank you so much for showing up.
Hey Mama Tony.
Yep, yep, yep. So okay, you're more intentional now.
Yeah.
But now, what is some of your quirks when you're writing? Like, do you have like certain things you really really need when you're writing a book?
Yeah. Music is like I also write a lot of music romances, and that's because music. Like somebody thought I was a musician. They were like, "You're a musician?"
Yeah.
No, not at all. When I say at all, like it's like you don't playing nothing for you. Definitely don't want you singing for you either. None of that. But I like playing music over like that for almost every book. There's a song that plays in my head as I'm writing,
Mm-hmm.
and especially like when I need to get inspired, like I hear, or if I'm just driving and a song come on, and I would instantly think of a character like, oh, that's got to be for that book, that's got to be for this one, or a book I hadn't even written yet, that's gonna be for this one, because there are definitely stories that when I hear it, it inspires me, and I just want to write. So for me, quirks can be like no matter where I am, I have headphones. Like sometimes I go sit in a coffee house just to get
Okay.
inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
and I have my headphones on. I'm sitting there listening. My laptop goes with me everywhere I go, and people are like, "Why is your laptop? He at the doctor's office. Why do you have the laptop?" I'm like,
Look,
because
they don't quite understand.
yeah, it's like as soon as that move hit me, I have to write. And even when I went to Costa Rica with friends, and they all banned me, they're like, "You cannot bring that laptop." So I had a notebook. So I was
What?
still sitting there like
Do
writing
they
notes,
understand the creativeness that
right?
you are?
Right? They look at it like it's work, and for me, it is not. It's not work at all. It is something I enjoy. It's fun to me. So it's yeah. So when I get inspired, it's just like, oh, I got to write that idea because I
Right, right,
literally
right.
sat and almost wrote a whole story just writing it because I was inspired when I was in Costa Rica.
Oh,
So yes,
that. Now, do you feel like what was one of the what was a song uh, that I guess I don't want to say inspired this book, but what was a song that was playing overlap when you was writing this book?
Birthday Cake by Rihanna.
What really?
Yes. Because it has to. It's like you start off with like you hear like the
Oh, okay. I
right.
see it there. Because I was
Yes.
thinking the words, and I'm like, okay.
No, I mean, of course, that does help. But see, you know how the story starts off, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is that is what I was playing. So when I started listening to it, I was like, oh, this is how it's gonna start off there, like it's like so. Yeah, so that was definitely a song that played a lot when I was um, writing this one.
Hmm.
And I always forget the one by Tiye, that new one that he did. I really love was playing too. To say I say I love it. I can't think of it now, but yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes, yeah. Like
I
Pam, she
always,
get it. She's like, I keep paper. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
you could lose it. You could lose it. Like I literally like Ocean. I was at this restaurant and this woman who was a waitress who came to the table and she was like, "My name is Ocean," and let her start talking. I'm like, "That's the character in one of my books." Like,
Right.
and she was
Yes.
just like, "What?" And I said, "I'm a writer." So now you just gave me a name of one of my characters,
Okay.
and she was just like, "Okay." And I said, "No, I'm serious. Like, it's gonna be a guy though." Because she was a girl, I was like, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
guy, but it's gonna be Ocean, and then of course y'all see Ocean is out,
Right.
so
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I love that too. Now, speaking of Ocean, you also do a lot of collaborations.
yeah.
How do you find those more difficult, or how do you work around those?
I
Do you like them?
love those. I love those. I would because I most of my collabs have been with Sherelle Green and Elle Wright,
Hmm.
and I love when we get together. And it's just funny to me how we just have the exact. It just shows for me it shows how creative we are as authors, but also how our minds function. Because
Yeah.
usually we get like 4 or 5 prompts amongst us, and say, "Now go write the story," right? And our stories are so different, even though we're talking about the same thing, it's the
Yeah.
same themes. But if you read each of our stories, they're different. Like I reached out to Delaney because she was the one that helped me get started. She helped publish my,
I love.
Endgame and Unforgettable. Like she did Unforgettable Kiss and Unforgettable Man with me.
Mhm.
So I reached out to her and I was like, I know you're extremely busy, but would you mind doing a collab with me? And she was like, sure. And I'm thinking the same thing. She's gonna be like, well, I don't know, I'm doing this and that. She was just like,
Yeah, yeah,
sure, why
yeah,
not? And she was the one that got Sanithia. She said, "You know Sanithia?" I said, "No, I've never. I don't know her, but I trust you. So you think we should work with her? Let's do it." And it was fun. Like we'll have these, just like we're doing now. We all three of us online talking and laughing, and we're like, "Okay, we got these 3 characters." And I
yeah,
forgot my character was supposed to be a boy. The little boy was supposed to have a son. I forgot that, and I started writing it. And
yeah.
when they started reading, they were like, "Wait, you said he was going to be a boy?" I said, "I did." And they're like, did you forget what you told us? And I was just like, oh, it's too late now. It's a girl. So it's like,
Right.
but
I
yeah,
love those stories too. And you
yes,
you've done at least one with Cassie.
yes.
And I love that one. I think
What's
that was,
Our Diamond Lake series.
yeah.
Yep.
I want to
Cassie
say
Milano.
that might have been the first. I know I remember you from that book, but I don't know if that was the first
First
book
things you
that
read by me.
yeah.
I feel like you came before then, but it
I
might have
think I
been.
did too, but
Yeah.
because I knew I had Cassie before. Had read
Yes.
Cassie before, but I
Yes.
think at that time I was I wasn't reading collabs so much down. Now I
Mhm.
absolutely love them.
Mhm.
And that one that you did with Delaney Diamond, and Solinthia, those guys, we wanted more. We wanted
I
more.
Yeah.
We wanted more. So I'm just saying, we wanted more. I wanted
Yes,
more.
we did get an audiobook deal because of those books. Like they reached out to us. So I was like, "Oh, okay."
They were
Yeah,
really
so we
good.
we left it open so that we could do more. We did leave it open so we could do more.
Yeah.
We just haven't discussed doing more because we've just been so crazy busy, but we have left it open. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too, because I want to say it was a little bit different because, normally we get like the girls and they have friendships, but we don't always get the male,
Male perspective. Yeah.
camaraderie, right? So, and I
Yeah.
think that to me was one of the things that was stood out for me for that entire series. So I love that. Now we had some in that series too, but also in Madly Driven, we had a couple side characters in there.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying,
Yes.
and I know I'm not the only one. Uh,
Hmm.
and you can't get mad because you wrote the book, right?
I did.
So is there some side business going on with that? What are you thinking? How you feeling?
I honestly, yes, I Malcolm, his best friend.
Hmm.
Because when I was writing him, I was like, you know what, possible. Because when I first did Madly Driven, I did think about it being more of a series. When I first was,
Hmm.
approaching Harlequin about it, I was like, yeah, maybe it can be, a series. And then as I kept writing, I said, no, it could just be one and only. But the more I wrote about Malcolm, it
Yeah,
became like I want to pursue his story because you kind of know he's like a quiet storm is the way I would call
yeah,
him because you don't really know a lot about him, beyond what Kanan says about him, and you get from Kinsey that he's a good guy, but he's just quiet and but he's serious about love, and so he isn't in a relationship. He isn't. So it's like, what's his story,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So
And
you
he's
understand.
also yes, and he's also wealthy, but we don't really focus on that. He's wealthy too because he's an engineer. He's working on these top notch teams. So this is not a poor man either.
Right. But now I got this, and maybe I'm wrong, but didn't he work for Kanan's dad,
Yeah,
right?
as an
And
engineer. Yeah.
so Kanan's dad was a little miffed at the both of them
Mhm.
because
They left.
Kanan pulled him out to
Yeah,
to kind of run
because he's one of
around
his best
and
people. He's one of
yeah,
his
yeah,
best
yeah.
people that he
Yeah.
pulled out to work with him. And although Malcolm comes across like he's a lot older, he's only like maybe 2, 3 years older than
Yeah, yeah.
well, I
Then
think he
Can
might be
then
older, but
Kanan.
yes, yeah, than Canaan.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is definitely I have proposed that story
Okay.
Black Odyssey, and yeah, at this point they have agreed. I just haven't written anything.
All right, Black Odyssey. Woohoo. And
So, but I told him I was like, I really want to pursue Malcolm's story. I do. I
yeah.
think, and I do have a good. The idea is going to be good because he's also a motorcyclist. So that's why it's still going to be in the racing world, but it's going to be you're going to find out more about him, and that is what we're going to find out. And he falls for a woman motorcyclist. So it's
Oh,
yeah,
even better.
yeah,
Even better. You all
yeah.
right with me, Ty?
Yeah, so yes, yes, I definitely, and I'm saying it because I haven't signed any papers, but I asked them about it, and they were like, "I like it, I like it." They were like, "I like it. Where you want to
Okay.
go with it?" I just said it just like that. I said, "What if he is also a motorcyclist, and so is she?" And they were like, "Oh, okay, okay." I was like, "Yay!"
Okay.
So
Well, we
yes,
won't, guys, we won't hold her to it, but we're hopeful that it will come to us. How about that? So we don't want to put any pressure on you, but we putting pressure on you, right? Okay.
thank you, Katina. She said, "We're reading. We're gonna read it if you write it." I love that.
Right,
Yes,
exactly. And then
yeah.
Katina, honey, yes, you are with me. We're gonna read it if you write it. And then yes, Mama Tony, we did too. Hey there, Miss Tony Tony. How's it going? Oh, and my old faithful Miss Ola. How are
Miss
you? You all, thank you for
Ola.
joining us. So we're almost at our time, so we're gonna kind of wrap up. But I did want to ask you one thing. I'm not gonna say kind of something at the ending, but um, I I might have to ask you this offline, but because I really don't want to spoil it for anybody. But I was a little bit surprised in the ending with Kanan.
Mm.
You know,
Now I'm like, in what way?
right? Well,
Okay.
he was trying to secure his legacy
Yeah.
and doing
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and it just didn't quite work out. So I was surprised at that. Not that it was a bad ending because I still loved it, but I was just, when you when that's the whole focus of the story, you expect for it to happen that way, and it just didn't. Was that intentional, or if that was just the way it happened?
It was intentional.
Okay, all right, okay. Fade
But
on
we
you.
can we can definitely talk more as
Yeah,
soon as the
yeah, yeah,
camera's
yeah,
off.
yeah. I just kind of
'Cause I
want
can
to
tell
know.
you more what it meant, what I mean by that. But yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, guys, read the book. And if you have the same question, then you reach out to Ty.
By all means, you can always reach. I tell you all the time, you can always reach me, and I will answer any question. There are readers who do it now. In the midst of reading, they asking me questions now. What about? I was like, can you finish reading it first? Like,
Right,
I
right,
just
right.
want to know what happened right here.
I think I reached out to you and I wasn't even finished with the book, but that book kind of just, I don't know, it pulled in my heartstrings. And I was just like, yeah, this is a little different from what I'm used to, reading. Because, you always, redeem the characters, if you will, you slide them through the mud and then they come out like, like diamonds and stuff. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way, but you know
No,
what I
no, I love how you said
know,
slide
they
through the
go
mud.
through some
Yes, they
stuff.
do. They go through some
Yeah.
stuff. That's a
And,
fact. Yes, they do.
but I'm telling you, Kanan right away. I was like, oh, I love him. And it wasn't because, it might have been a little bit because he was a NASCAR driver, because I love that too. And for me, when I'm reading, especially when you're reading romance, for me, one of the highlights is for the characters is the jobs that they have,
Yeah, yeah,
their way of life, if you
yeah.
will. And two of my, well, one thing NASCAR is, you don't see that all the time. You definitely don't see it with black men. So that was cool.
They definitely
And
don't
it
have
could
a
have
lot of
worked either
black
way, girl or guy, right?
men.
And then, like I said, the influencer thing, I always just love those because you're going to get some mess, and it's better to read about it than actually see it online because it really gets really messy online.
It really does. It
Uh,
really does.
yeah, but I'm gonna open up the floor for you, Ty, and you give us any calls to actions. Tell us where we can find you. You know, anything you want. I'm gonna leave the last words to you. Oceans had me in my circles. Yeah,
I love it. Thank
I
you.
love that. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Um, you can always find me at Tiye28 always on Instagram. Anytime you type in TIYE, because there's not many of us in this world call that, you should be able to find me, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not on, even though I'm on it, I'm not on them because I keep having issues with them. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
better to find me either Facebook or Instagram. My website is tylovebooks.com. And you can email me, Ty28always at gmail.com, because I do answer people's emails. Join my newsletter and go on my website to join my newsletter, or on Instagram under my bio, you can join my newsletter so you can stay in tune. I just dropped two excerpts on my newsletter for two future books that I'm working on. And one is, I'm excited about every book I write, so I can't say it like that, but I do because it has to keep motivated. I have to like it because I have to
Yeah.
write it. And the one that's coming out next, with Black Eyes, they haven't officially. Well, I am writing this one. I am definitely agree. It's happening. It just happened. They did the cover for it. I'm loving the cover. Can't wait till y'all see the cover. And it's called, well, I probably can't tell you what it's called, but it is based. It is like if you read Embers and Smoke by me. Um,
Oh,
the brother of the main character, JC. Remember, JC had a brother.
yeah.
So this is Remy, his middle brother. It's a story of his, and he is trying to. He's a football player trying to be, live up to his name. Of trying to have a legacy of his own, because again, he has a brother in the NFL. He has his dad was in the NFL, his younger brother NBA. So he's trying to make a name for himself. And there's something that happened years ago, that just that messed him up and also messed the relationship he wanted to have with this woman. So he feels like all these years later that in order to get what he really wants, he has to make amends with that young lady.
Hmm.
And that young lady is an actress and been trying to same thing. They were both rising stars. Then something tragic happens and they go separate ways and their lives are not the same. So he feels like, hey, I got to fix that karma so I can have this career again. And so it's like, so he's, yeah. And then they both have these career aspirations. So then you start to wonder, is it that is all this about them finding each other again, or is it really about their careers?
Mm. A little bit
So
like this
anyway,
one.
now this one is this one kind of go back to what y'all used to me in terms of emotional. It's definitely more emotional because of what they go through. But I'm really, yeah, I'm hoping to have that, out in the world by next year for sure. Because I know I'm supposed to turn this manuscript in soon. So,
Oh,
and the cover, yeah, I know they're waiting for me to give them the manuscript before they drop the cover.
okay.
So,
Okay.
at least
So
that's
with
what I. And then Madly Driven just came out, so they wanted Madly Driven to get its just due before we start advertising the next one, which isn't related to Madly Driven. So,
yeah, but sometimes I can see how that works. You know what I mean? Um, so you guys go out and grab the book. It is Madly Driven.
yes, grab it.
Yeah, it really truly, guys, is a wonderful story. It is a not can't put it downable book.
It's a.
And it's a story and it reads like a standalone, but if you like me, you're gonna find that one or two characters that you're gonna want,
You want to know a
so
little bit more
much.
about. You will. You want to know a little bit more
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Ty, again, bottom of my heart, thank you. I know I have pulled you these couple of weekends into some mess, while you trying to get your life together. And here I come, can you please? And you have not told me no. So
No,
this
and
was
I
not,
won't tell you no. That's why I said because at first
yeah,
I'm like, I'm gonna be in Miami. I said, well, shoot, I can. I know me. I know most people partying in Miami on a Friday night, but guess what? I'm sitting in front of this computer and completely okay with it. It's
right,
like,
right. And I wanted to be mindful too of your time.
yes,
So that's why I'm not gonna, that's why my questions were kind of like a little bit quick because you know me, I'm a chatty Cathy, so I could go on and on and on. So
appreciate it.
guys, if just before we close out, we got just like, really 2 minutes. If you guys have any burning questions
Oh
that
yeah,
you want
definitely
to
ask me.
ask, Ty, please put them in the chat. I'll put them up there for her to be able to answer for you. So yeah, any questions, bring them in there, bring them in there. Now I want to go back to this too, because I kind of read it really fast, but this was
Which one?
that
Oh yes, is
okay, so
that?
this already happened, right? Or is this
No, it's
happening?
at August 22nd.
So this is happening this year? Yes?
Is Pam still on? She might have logged off because she
Oh,
was the one that
okay.
put. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna have to reach out to
Yeah, I'm
her.
gonna have to because I that's something I can't do this year, but I might because like I said, my one of my oldest friends lives in Minneapolis, so if I have a reason to go, she'll be like, "Yay!"
I know, I know, I know. Well, maybe with that next book when it comes
Yes,
out, maybe.
yes, yeah. I'm hoping. I want that book to be released next summer, so I know I got to get it to her
Oh
when
yeah,
that's
she
going to
she
happen.
did say, yeah, this year. Okay, I'm gonna reach out to you to get some more information about that because I had not heard about that. So thank you. Let me see if I can get me a travel partner to get on up on the road. Okay, I have not. I have seen that book a lot on the readers list. Are you talking about Manly Driven?
I will say I've been seeing it get around, so I'm hopeful that people will continue to read
Yeah.
it, and once they read that one, they go back and look at the my back catalog for those who are new to me. So we'll
Mm.
see. I'm definitely trying to spread the word about Madly Driven. That's for sure. Look,
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
wearing my shirt and everything, trying to get
Uh,
trying to get the word out.
okay, okay. Now this book was also on. I don't think it is anymore, but it was on NetGalley. I saw after the
Yeah, it
fact.
was. It
Yeah.
was.
So how was that? Did that? Do you think that worked out well for you, or?
Overall, I think so because I got initially good reviews on that. I will say it did. I didn't. I don't think I got any. I got. I tried to look at reviews, so from what I understand, I got pretty good reviews. Because Matt Black Odyssey told me because I try to stay away because then I don't want to get. I don't want to go back. Go feel like I got to go hurt myself or something because you didn't like my book.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
I kind of steer away from reviews because I know I did the best I could. You may or may not
mhm.
like it. That's all I know.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
and I mean, people, we're readers are different, right?
exactly,
And that's the
exactly.
whole beauty of having a conversation with different
Yep,
readers because everybody's going to see a different
they
perspective.
will.
So,
So
yeah. But anyway, again, Ty, I'm going to let you get out of here.
this is like a pop socket that yes, this is Canaan. It's a pop socket that
Oh, like,
yes, that this woman who makes them is like, so she's selling these for me for those who like Canaan. I got one for Kinsey too, but this is
I
I fell in
can't.
love with it. Put it
Yeah.
on the back of your phone.
Oh, okay. So, guys, she's going to have some. Are you going to have those on your website?
Oh my goodness, I should have on my website, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, that's how behind I am. Yes, it should be on my
Yeah. Well,
website.
that's okay. Well,
It's on,
just
but if you
keep.
go to my Instagram, it is yes. In person, I'll have them to sell too. If you happen to be at
Hmm.
anything that I'm at, and you're right, Mama Tony, every book is not
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yeah.
That is a fact that I try to remind myself. I'm like, even as an author, I've read books that I'm like, it was all right, and other ones I'm like, oh my god, it's the best ever, and people disagree with me. So yes.
Yeah. What did you do to celebrate this book after you released it?
I had a release party, one which was really fun. I had a midnight
Oh,
release
right.
party, and that was really fun. I had a midnight release party. What I typically do with any book, I do it twice. When I finish the book, I always have a celebratory dinner and a cocktail, usually lemon drop or uh, amaretto sour.
Hmm.
Um, and then when I release a book, I do the same thing. But it's usually like one of my favorite meals in cocktail. That is what I do for both parts. For
Okay.
this one though, I because I had that big party, I slept. Because it was up, I didn't get home till like 3 in the morning. I don't do that anymore. I'm not
Oh,
out all night and then 3 in the morning. I believe I had to go to work for a little bit for something. So that was my celebration was the actual release party.
yeah. And you were in some good company too over there. I
Oh
love.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sherelle, you did it at
Sherelle. Yeah.
Book Readers
At
Venue.
Book Readers Venue, and Sherelle hosted it. Wonderful host made it. Oh my God,
Yeah.
do I ever get a chance to go to a bookstore and outside of Houston in Humble, Texas, which is right near the airport. So if you ever fly into IAH, her bookstore is 10-15 minutes away. Might as well do a little stop before you go into Houston.
Right. Well, let me just tell you what I did. I went to the Brenda Jackson's cruise last year,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we poured it in. It was I don't think it was in Houston. It was somewhere in Texas, and before
Probably
we got in, the
Galveston.
dam was
Probably
flying.
Galveston.
Yeah, it
Like
was
Galveston.
Galveston. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was Galveston, and I was flying back home that day, but and I didn't think about it, but me and a couple of my book buddies, we got in a Uber and we drove. We drove all the way there to sit down there, and I interviewed her, and I lost. I don't know what happened with it, but I don't have it, so I have to have her back again. But yeah,
Yeah, she's so cool.
yeah. Yeah, 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 absolutely. She's so cool. But
Yeah.
anyway, Ty, we're gonna let you get back to your guest there. And again, we'll be talking to you. Appreciate you so much. Great
Thank
book.
you.
You guys make sure you follow her and we'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.